days, overwhelmed, trapped in a maze. Small business owner, stress had me in the daze. Every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling stuck, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. With the support of our success group, we're taking fights with power strong. With vision so clear, building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force. With our success group. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group, community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling stuck, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. With the support of our success group, we're taking flight with power strong. With vision so clear, building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force. With our success group.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rising Tide Talks. We're a little early today, so thank you guys for joining us. I am Kylene Montgomery, and I encourage transformation through positive energy.
I'm Becky Kutzer, and I believe it takes a village to run a business.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group, and we are here to inspire you guys to fall deeper in love with your business, and excited to have this conversation today. But I'm going to dive right in. We got people saying hello already, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to get us off track already. Shocking, right? Aaron gets us off track. But good afternoon, Barb. Thank you for being here. Ricardo, appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for being here. And Chandler, hello. And Chandler loves the song because it's so true. Love a little our Success Group theme song there. But Becky, what are we talking about today?
Well, today is all about Becky. No, it's not. Today is going to be about how our space and the clutter or the non-clutter of your workspace affects you mentally and just your general work day.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great, because we think of clutter as like this physical thing, and certainly that's what we're going to talk about, right, in that regard. But I think you really, I was really interested to hear you kind of explain some of the mental things that came up too. So we're going to cover the whole realm, but this is, I don't know, all these topics are always near and dear to my heart, but I'm a bit of a neat freak. Kylene, you always say that you thought you were organized until you met me.
So true.
But sometimes I've got controlled chaos too. So, it's okay. And it's just finding that balance. So,
yeah.
Awesome. And Becky says, Becky Gallimore says, I'm looking forward to hearing how to declutter. Absolutely. So we'll get your secrets here, Becky.
Well, sometimes it's a matter of waiting till it's so bad you just can't take it anymore.
Can't take it anymore. Okay, all right. Well, there's something to be said about that for sure.
Yep.
Got you into action.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, Kylene, where should we start off though?
All right, let's start with our gratitude. We'd love to start our shows with gratitude because gratitude is our superpower. It brings more positive energy to our space. And when we're in that state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance, and we really start paying attention and getting into the habit of looking and appreciating all the amazing things that we have to be grateful for in our life. So if you are listening, please share what you're grateful for today. Becky, do you want to share first what you're grateful for today?
Yes, I sure will. I am grateful for my son. He took a nasty hit at the football game last Friday night, and we are working our way through a concussion. So he's doing okay-ish. So we just need to have some time to rest, and trying to keep electronics away from a 17-year-old is not the easiest task in the world. So but we're making it happen, and he's doing better. So it's just going to be a slow road. This is number 2. So unfortunately we're 2 in already, and that's kind of mom's limit, but we'll see how he progresses in the next week and go from there. But I'm just grateful for him and being able to have the healing that he's getting. So
Yeah.
It's great that you're aware too. I mean, I think back to when I was his age and younger, I didn't know what a concussion was. And so I probably took several concussions without even knowing about it. So the fact that he gets a chance to rest, I think that makes a huge difference. So
and the teachers have been amazing. They've been working with him, and we still need to get some homework done, but they're working with him to do. So
gotcha.
That's great.
Awesome.
Well, I hope he heals fast and back to norm with schoolwork.
Yep. All right. Barb says, I am grateful for outsourcing. That's awesome. So for me, Kylene, I'm going to jump in next. I am grateful for the opportunities that I have coming up next week that, you and Lewis are so supportive of me that you guys are I'm taking an opportunity to go kind of fill my own bucket up here at the end of the week, next week after Printing United. So we got all sorts of fun happening. And I know you and Lewis kind of will be hanging out with Grandma, and I certainly will enjoy the day that I get there with Grandma too. But being able to have this opportunity to go fill up my cup and learn and bring something back to the community here after a great event. I'm really looking forward to Printing United too. Becky's going to be there. Our friend Stephanie. We're going to get Kylene's going to be there. So if you're anywhere near the Vegas area early next week, I would recommend getting over to Printing United. So anyhow, not to make it my gratitude a promotion here, but sorry. I just like, I forgot about that. So Kylene, what about you?
I am grateful for my mom. She made some big decisions recently. She put her house up for sale in Arizona and is going to move back to Minnesota. And I'm going to help her pack up some things, go through some things from my dad that she hasn't been able to go through yet. So she's just doing a lot of hard things. And I just really, really appreciate her, including me in that process. So.
Well, I'm sure she's grateful to have you there too. So, all right. Chandler says, I'm grateful for my family and having something to come home to every day. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that. Yep, for sure.
And don't forget the 21-day gratitude challenge is happening over in the group. And it's been, I don't think I got mine on there today yet. My day started early before it came out, and I haven't really sat down a whole lot at the computer today. So I need to get back over there and get my gratitude done for today too.
Yeah.
Same for me. As a reminder,
by the way, sorry, Aaron.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead, Kylie.
I was just going to say the gratitude challenge has been great. I love the prompts. I think it's just awesome to read what other people are grateful for. It's been great. So thank you.
Yeah, it has been really cool. Like I said, reading what everybody else has shared and then having those prompts. I mean, I could probably go, grateful for the weather today, grateful for the weather today, grateful for the birds outside, stuff like that, right? There's so many things to be grateful for, but sometimes you do get stuck in a little bit of a rut and you need to kind of continue to expand those horizons. So, if you're not in the group, osg.link/group will get you there, and go in and check that out. Also, just as a reminder, I put a little post up this morning with the scoreboard, so to speak. Even if you didn't, maybe you missed a day, or maybe you're just getting started with it, you're new into the group or something like that, you can still be entered to win a copy of the book here. Everybody that does all 21 days, their names are going to be put into a random drawing to be given a copy of the book. So you can go back and fill them all in. You'll still get on that scorecard. So if you saw your name on the scorecard there and you're like, oh, I missed a day, darn, don't worry, you can go back, but you just got to go back and add add into that post. So yeah, really good stuff. So high five on that, Becky.
Thanks.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, and then we've got Becky Gallimore saying, I'm grateful for the support folks have shown me during the new season of my life, during this new season of life for me. That's awesome. Glad that you're getting that support, Becky. Good to hear it. Okay. So Becky Kotzer. I got to use last names here today. I'm glad that we've got.
I better get my stuff opened up. I'm sitting in a new area, so my helper is out pressing, and I just didn't feel right sitting there trying to talk while she was out there. So we are now. I'm in my kitchen area, and so now I've got things all over trying to figure out where all my stuff is at. So
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, whenever you're ready.
Dive in. So Aaron's going to put up I'm like in the backstage because I'm still not logged in where I'm supposed to be. So Aaron's going to put up a picture here. And I want to know, everybody that's watching, tell me what your feelings are when you see this space. I know my feelings are, how my feelings are when I see this space. And it goes both ways. I see a really big space, but I see a space that just makes my anxiety level go up just a little bit. Aaron's probably really having a fit over there.
I've seen worse, so I'm okay.
Well, I don't know. It was really got to the point. So for all of you that don't know, this is my office space that I have, my workshop that I have attached to the house here. And you can see the corner of the table that is my desk. There is another picture that shows that area, which is just as bad. But it was really getting to the point of I couldn't even walk. I mean, it felt like a episode of Hoarders where there was like a path and I had to just only had a path to get back and forth. There's a bigger path on this side because that's where my helper would come in and press. So I left her more space than I had for the rest of it. But this was just, stuff had just started accumulating. Extra shirts would come in, they'd get set in a pile. I had a vendor event, a box came back with that. It just got set down. We had a whole bunch of boxes coming in for orders. It just, I don't know. It would just really stop my brain when I would walk through the door. So a week and a half ago now, I suppose it is, I actually took the day and did not go with my family. The rest of them went somewhere, did some shopping and stuff. And I said, I have to stay home. This is the only day that I can possibly think about trying to dig into this space. And I needed it to really be by myself. I needed to, not have interruptions and not have everybody else wanting to either help me do it or asking me to do other things. So I did. I spent all day that day, getting rid of boxes. And that's how I think the hardest part for me is I now have a stack of boxes, again, empty ones sitting in my office. So there has to be some protocol happening here pretty soon about what happens when empty boxes come in. And I don't know if I'm the only one in this world that has a hard time throwing away a good box. I mean, especially, we're creeping up on Christmas here. I hate to say it. We're in September, so we're getting into Christmas. And I always keep boxes when we get closer to Christmas because you never know when you're going to need a box to wrap a present in, right? So that's just how I am. I don't know. My husband probably really doesn't love the garage with all the boxes, but he did burn a bunch this last weekend for me and stuff. But now I've held on to a few because we have homecoming coming up and we try to sort those shirts out and usually need more boxes than what we get. So
do you break them down, Becky, or do they stay built?
Right now they're still up, but yes, I mean, that's usually Nick's job is to break down boxes, but he's also 17 and really doesn't love to help his mom. So, it's like there too. So yes, and that's where I need to figure out, do we break them down right away? But sometimes we will go back and pull them and it's so many boxes. I agree, Chandler. It's just overwhelming. Yep. Barb, that's where mine go to right now. So anyways, I don't know. That was where I'm at. I don't know how other people feel when their spaces get so cluttered. I was doing okay. I thought I was handling things really well. And then after I cleaned it and I came back in Monday morning, I couldn't get over the difference. So for me, I've always not been able to have music or extra noise because by the time the printer's running, there's extra noise. But even that day, the printer hadn't been running and it was just too much. However, Monday when I walked in and I'm sitting there and I'm going through my and I started my day and all this stuff, all of a sudden I'm like, I really could use some music on. I mean, it was just the difference in the space and how much I needed to have, like suddenly it was empty. I mean, it wasn't empty by any means, but it was just that much more open space, wide open. It felt like I had room to breathe. And I don't know if everybody, you know, once you guys have cleaned spaces, and Aaron's a neat freak, so he really can't say about this, but once you've cleaned like that, it's, you know, to me, it's just such a breath of fresh air for it. So
yeah.
I just wanted to see how everybody else is handling their spaces and what they should go back and look at my notes to see what my question was. Because the question was, have you ever felt overwhelmed or stressed because of the clutter and the disorganization in your workspace?
Mm-hmm.
And even today, my desk was getting a whole bunch of stuff piled on it, trying to get everything done before we leave next week.
Sure.
And so,
Eloisa says you should see mine.
Please post it. Help me feel better.
Yeah. And I think there's a couple things going on here for us, right? Like Becky, you say I'm a neat freak, but I mean, I have my moments where, we've got some stuff piled up. We've got some clutter here and there. I think for me, it is this mindset of it though, right? Like I do get really overwhelmed even when I just have a few stacks on my desk and stuff like that. So for me, it's just part of the process that I gotta clear this off, or I just can't think clearly with that kind of thing around me, right? Now I'm a left-handed Virgo, so I think I come by that naturally. But the reality is, as humans, we don't think enough about our environment, right? Our environment really does affect how productive we are. It affects how our mood is, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you've got a space where you're just not feeling the vibe, right, it is worth every second that it's going to take you to clear that out, right? You said, Becky, you know, you sacrificed a little bit of family time to be able to do this, but I believe that you probably are getting more family time back now because you're more productive in that space, and now you can use some of that time to go back and add some extra family time, and that's just my belief of the situation.
Yes, and absolutely. I think it just gave me time to be able to see the space again, and I'm back to being so grateful for my space, having that much room. I went from, I mean, that space tripled what I had originally when I started my business. So I'm extremely grateful for the space that I have, and need to start taking care of it. So,
well,
hear the cat.
I can hear your cat. Yeah. And I was going to say, like, you know, when you went into that space when it was cluttered and not organized for you, that creates that internal stress that we're talking about here. And like Aaron said, getting your family time back, you're probably more present with them when you're there because you have that a little bit less stress, right? Because when you are in your workspace now, you're probably more productive and all the other things we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I just think it's so wonderful that you noticed the feelings that you were having when you went back in your space the next day after it was organized and cleaned. I know for me in the holiday season, when we were doing lots of ornaments, at the end of every day, I had to make sure it was back to organization. So when I'd go back down, I didn't have like a half done task or a pile here, pile here. It was all organized. So I felt less overwhelmed with the quantity at the time. You can control it.
And I think that's a really good point, Kylene, for us to talk about. And Barb, we'll bring your comment in here too. Is this idea of like that was what it was for you, Kylene. You needed to have that situation, which, you know, it might seem a little counterintuitive, but for me, I was like, nope, okay, we'll come back the next day. And because I was okay leaving some of that because for me, I didn't feel like it was completed. We were going to be doing it anyhow. And so it didn't feel all that efficient. So in those moments, I can leave a little bit of clutter because I know that we'll kind of come back and get finished. You know, like Becky with her situation, you get to a point where you are just overwhelmed and you just have to do something, right? And that's okay. it'd be nice if we could avoid that, and I try to avoid that where I can. But everybody's going to be a little bit different too, so don't think that you've got to keep a spotless situation there to achieve what we're trying to talk about here. Yeah.
And I'm going to grab Chandler's. Oh, I can't grab Chandler's. Grab Chandler's comment quick. Which she says, always I clean every Monday, which I think is amazing. To me, Monday's not a clean day. I would think Friday. Yet I love the idea of maybe cleaning on Monday because you've set yourself up for the week now.
Yeah. Really
and so
point.
I think that's a mindset I'm going to have to start looking at. So
yeah. And then Barb adds to that, says, I try to clean up the shop before closing. I find if I don't, the next day it takes time to straighten up before processing orders. My mood starts better in an organized space, right? And so if I can speak to that for just a little bit too, there is lots of brain science behind what we're talking about here too. And if you think about humans, and as we were originally put on this earth, we're very tribal, and because we're very tribal and work together and things like that, we also have to be able to kind of signify starts and stops, and this goes back to our caveman and women days. We have to be able to kind of signal that to another family so they understand the ritual of it. And so doing things like Barb's talking about here, closing the day, making a ritual out of this can really go a long way. And that's really something that's ingrained in us as humans. We have to have that start and stop point, just to signify, endings and beginnings. And so I think, like you just mentioned there, Becky, the doing on Monday, maybe that could change your outlook and give you a different ritual to have there. And Barb, at the end of the day, right? Because she said, if I don't, this is what happens, right? And so that would indicate to me that it doesn't always happen, but at least it's a ritual that she tries to put in place. So what do you guys think about that?
That's the other part for me, is having that end of day timer set to know, okay, I start out with the beginning of the day looking at my day to see, okay, do I need to be where, if I have to leave and I have an appointment at 3:30, okay, well, it takes a half hour to get there. I have to be out the door at 3 then, whatever time I said. If it was at 3:30, I need to be out the door by 3, so my end of day is probably going to have to end at, say, 2:30. So that gives me time to finish what I'm doing. So my end of day timer gets set at 2:30 then, so that I've got a few minutes to finish whatever I'm working on.
I love that.
Try to clean any of that up and then grab what I need to do to be out the door. So that honestly has made a huge difference for me since we've set up that end of day timer on my side. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Just to bring Chandler's comments in here real quick, and then Kylie, you can jump in there. She says, yeah, my week really doesn't start until Tuesday for both jobs. So that's, we're Monday. But again, I think that there's something to be said with what you were talking about there, Becky, like, interesting. Just to change a mindset, how that can be so improving to us, right? I guess that's probably not the right word, but so she says, I have my week scheduled through on Sunday night before bed. So, all right, Kylie, any other thoughts there?
Well, I mean, when you're talking about the end of day ritual and things that you do, I've been doing this during my day job, and I was doing it before when I was just here in the office. But when I was coming towards the close, I would write down the important things that I need to get to the next day. And I think we've talked a lot about doing that in other episodes. But, that was just part of closing up and wrapping up the ending of that day. So I could leave it there. I'm not going to forget about it and rehearse it in my mind that I'm going to forget.
I like that. And I think that plays back to the idea of this ritual. And I think if we have, ritual, habit, process, procedure, whatever you want to call it, it does kind of go back and is based in our how we're built as humans. So it's kind of interesting to think about. So, all right. Well, Becky, first off, we got to give you a round of applause. Congratulations for being brave and letting us show your picture. Yeah, you did. And we'll show the after picture here in a second. So we're going to get to that side too. But if you want, she posted a whole bunch of others. I think you had like 9,
I think
10,
I
11.
posted, and I did take videos, so that would be the other thing I haven't posted and whatever, but I did do a video walking through my office before, and then I did a video walking through afterwards. So
Okay. All right.
I can.
Well, if you want to
post
go
it.
over to the group, you guys, you can again go to osg.link/group. That'll get you there. But if you need help finding it, just put a comment in there right now, and I will go in and tag you on that post when we get done here, or when I am waiting for my son to play volleyball tonight. I'll tag you on that post. So just put a comment in there and it just says tag me or something like that if you need to see that. Okay. Well, let's take a quick break. We actually have a kind of a fun announcement. In fact, are you guys good with, let's just make the announcement and we'll skip the break?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've been teasing it. Most people probably know I didn't do a very good job of keeping it a secret, but so the secret's not that my 50th birthday is coming up. That's what this is based on. So September 13th, I turn 50 years old, even though I've been telling Kylene and everybody around me that I'm already 50. I just like to do it when the new year arrives, because then that way I don't have to try to remember how old I am. I can just say, okay, I'm 50 all year. Plus, then when my actual birthday hits, it's less of a blow. Anyhow, sorry, I'm off track here. So getting to the point is, we've been thinking about Fundamentals Live. We've been talking a lot about it. We are just reflecting, right? We get to like look back on what happened in June. I've been kind of collecting feedback from the folks that were there in June. And so I've just kind of been basking in all of that. And I'm going, how can we get this to a point where we take away the barriers, right? Because our success group is not about the, oh my gosh, how many numbers can we get, all et cetera, et cetera. It's all about the transformation, right? If we can help you cultivate an uncommon mindset, if we can help with a structure that will allow you to maximize your fulfillment, that is what I was put on this earth to do. Becky and Kylene have very similar mindsets, and they're supporting me in this journey. So I said, hey, you guys, I got a crazy idea. And they're like, yes, it's crazy. And then they said, we'll let you be crazy. So here's the crazy idea. You name your price, whatever it is that you can afford, whatever you think it is that's right for you. It's a $1,600 retreat is what it is what the value of it is that we've listed it at. People have told me that it's actually more valuable than that, but that's what we listed it at. But I just want, this is a birthday gift for me, because I want to see the transformation that we can experience with people. And so I don't know if I can share the website. Anyhow, it's just up now. Maybe I will share the screen here and show people. But Becky, Kylene, tell people how crazy I am, or what.
Well, I don't know if you're crazy, but I think people would be crazy if they don't come join us, because it is such a powerful transformational event in person. How about you, Becky?
Well, I think Erin's crazy too, but I also believe that people would be crazy to not join us for this. We're still seeing the after effects of June and those that were there. And so many good things coming out of it, and how much they're still growing, even how many months later, and just continuing to go back to their workbooks. I mean, we hear everybody say, oh, I need to go back to my workbook. Oh, I gotta grab my workbook. I need that. There's stuff in there I gotta find. So.
Yep. So I'll just run down the deal here. If you go to the link that you see on there, osg.link/funlive, you'll scroll down, you'll see this thing jumping around there. And it says celebrate Erin's 50th with a special offer. And basically you cover transportation, food, and lodging, and then choose a registration fee that works for you. We are limiting this to only 10 seats, and it's going to be strictly first come, first serve. And there's no limit on the cost. Choose 0, choose 100, choose 1,000, 2,000, whatever's right for you. Again, the normal price is $15.97. But the idea here is to take any barrier of entry away so we can be fulfilling the mission. And so if you're somebody that thinks Fundamentals Live could be a game changer for your business, I would say this is your opportunity. Again, my birthday's on the 13th of September, so we will extend the offer through then. If you do have questions, if this is something that is of interest to you, you're nearby, you're not nearby, but you think it's a worthwhile investment of your time, reach out to me, reach out to Becky, reach out to Kylene. You can reach out to Chandler. She was there. She can tell you how to do it, right? Like what happened for her, so all that kind of stuff. And anything. Okay. I just want to make sure I was checking comments. So what did I miss there, ladies?
I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty amazing what you.
Yeah. You guys are just shocked about how crazy I am. Is that what it is? So you're at a loss for words. Crazy he is, and crazy you are if you don't sign up. Okay.
Well said. Yeah.
Because I need a workbook every quarter. Absolutely. And okay. All right. So we good? We cover that?
Yep. Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Right. Anybody that's tuned in that has questions, feel free. And let's see what else we got here. What is this live about? Yeah, Ricardo, check it out. It's osg.link/fun live. It is a 3-day. So it is a 3-day in-person retreat where we build a structure for your business. We basically reconnect you to why you did it, build a business that is designed for you, and you're going to walk away with a blueprint to be able to fall back in love with your business. So, all right. Well, we just took a break to share that. We wanted to make that special announcement. Now, this particular live, we're talking about decluttering. So let me get some of these things off of the screen here and get us back on target. But okay, let's talk about the second half. Becky, what do we want to ask people here?
Well, we were talking about my workspace, but what's the most cluttered space in your small area of the world? Whether it's the physical, the digital, spiritual, reducing clutter can help in so many ways. And we're going to go through a few of those. And then I know we had a comment about how to declutter, and I was going to quick kind of check that before we went through kind of these other things. So decluttering can happen in a couple different ways. For me, on days when I get a big chunk of time and I'm completely to past the point of where it needs to happen, I can spend several hours, and it just has to go from start to finish. It has to be done. Yeah. The other part for me on my house where I'm starting is 15 minutes a day. Set the timer and go. Whatever, and when that timer's done, you're done. Put back, if you're working on a closet, shove it back in. The next day, you'll have 15 minutes to do it again. So to me, that's been the best part for me, is to have that 15 minutes to just know that you've accomplished something. And if you have time and you want to take another 15 minutes, you sure can. But decluttering in small chunks like that makes your brain not hurt as badly.
Yeah.
So setting timers, whether it's 15 minutes, half hour, the time frame, it has to be individualized to you. But it's setting the timer makes a difference, because you have a start and an end time. When that timer goes off, you can be done. So take the time.
I will say it's always amazing what you can accomplish in that short period of time too. Whereas sometimes when it's so overwhelming, you think, well, what's 15 minutes really going to actually do? It does a lot.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. And so, Kylene, any other thoughts about ways to declutter?
Yeah, I mean, I like you can make piles. You donate, you have your, if it's physical, you could have someone else come into your space with you. Aaron's come into my space and has helped me just go through a stack that had been sitting there. I think it drove him more crazy than it did me. But once I went through it, I thought it would take a lot longer. What did it take us? Maybe 5 minutes. Not long at all. So sometimes you just need that other person to come in to help you make those decisions. If that's what's holding you back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess I would add too that, think about Becky, you were talking about the boxes, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you got gotta have the boxes. You never know what's going to happen if I need the box, et cetera, right? I know that the second you throw it away will be the time when you need the box, but you cannot let that be what holds you back, because we also then figure it out in that space. So holding on to that stuff keeps you from having what we're going to talk about what this can do for us from just a mental and ability wise after that. But I would just kind of encourage people that when in doubt, get rid of it, right? Recycle it where you can, donate it where you can. But one of the, I know challenge for Kylene and I is we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to donate it someday, right? Like, okay, well, part of the process is we need to get that done, right? We can't just shovel it from one space to the next. So I wanted to pop your after picture up here, Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for that? Okay.
Yep.
So if you, and I think I could actually, I mean, it's like you said, it looks bigger, it feels bigger, it feels calmer. I mean, there's a lot of things, because I think I can put does it work? Okay. Yeah. So there's a before, one more time, just to remind folks. And then there's the after. Right. So, okay. So let's talk about this, right? So let's talk a little bit more about what the reduction of clutter can do for us. And then hopefully we will get some ideas from you guys in the chat here. How do you go about decluttering? What's your, I love Becky's idea about they would consider like kind of a Pomodoro technique, where you're just setting a timer and you're doing it for a certain amount of time blocking, that kind of thing. Kylene, about kind of making it an organized process where you've got, okay, what this stack is for here, this stack is for here, and then doing something with it. You guys both, well, like Becky, you've been and helped Tanya out, for example, cleaning up her space. And I think it is good to have
other way around. She
other
comes
way
around me.
Sorry.
Obviously, I'm the messy one here.
Okay. For whatever reason, I thought you went there, but you're right.
No, Tanya would come to me.
Yep. Tanya would come to you. So, all right. So phone a friend. There's another good one. Another good idea. So any other ideas you guys have in the chat for techniques to better declutter, especially when you've gotten to that point where you're really feeling overwhelmed with it. So, but Becky, do you want to lead us into kind of what happened when you got to this after picture? Well,
again, I could breathe. and it was just, I mean, you could sit out there and you could just hear yourself, I guess, at that point. Your mind was, for me, my mind was just way more open, relaxed. I did not understand and realize how much stress and anxiety that space before gave me. I mean, I love my space. I love having that much room, but I didn't realize how much that was affecting me on the anxiety side, and how much I think it, and honestly, I think it's what drained me at the end of the day when I would come in, when I would walk out the door and come into the house, and I'd come into the house and it's like, I don't want to do anything. I'm wiped out, and yes, some days are mentally in that way when you're working, or even physically if you're doing production. But I think it was more the space that had more to do with it. So
wow, awesome. Yeah, Kylene.
Well, I was just gonna say, when you're in that space, that chaos, it's so overwhelming because you're not sure what to even tackle first.
Yeah.
That you just feel like you're lost and you're drowning, and that just increases those stress hormones in our body and increases the negative emotions, and our body will respond, and it responds in some of those ways of procrastination, right? Fatigue. We can become extremely anxious, obviously, and you can just feel less motivated. So it is really powerful when you have that organized space. I mean, you experienced it firsthand. I'm sure we all have experienced it at certain times when we've done this. How powerful it is just to have that organized, calm space. Like in my little office here, My desk is pretty good right now, but behind me where I teach yoga, it is so calm. The wall color is calm. Aaron's like, spend the time here to create your place that makes you want to be in it. And I'm very thankful for it because it is very calming.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Becky says, I throw things. So I'm getting off track here again. Sorry, squirrel.
Okay.
But going back to how do you declutter? So Becky says, I throw things into a doom box and put it out of eyesight. When I get overwhelmed too much, I go through the box and throw things away. Good. Love it. Doug says, I'm setting up my shop. Hopefully I'll be much more focused. Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
Again, focus. In fact, that's a good segue, Becky. What's the next kind of bonus for being able to have a space that is clutter free?
Well, that having the ability to focus and increase your productivity is huge. I feel like in the last week or so, we've been able to knock out a whole bunch more things. I feel like I'm still way behind, but that's only because I scheduled myself out for a whole week. But just being able to find the things that you need to find, got all the orders are making their way through the process. We are getting a system of where orders go as we work our way through the process. And I didn't have that before because everything was in a mess. There was no space to have the process. And so having that, productivity go up just helps your business that much more.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Love it. Yeah. You get productivity. Kylene, you already touched on fatigue a little bit. Let's talk about creativity here for just a second too.
But go back to that for a second, Aaron, the fatigue. Not only is it just physical fatigue, but it's decision fatigue. It's, constantly having to try to make a decision when you can't find things or you're looking at everything and you can't figure out where it is. Having to try to make those decisions is very cumbersome.
Yeah. Well, and I think that you can even look at that on a bigger scale too. Our days, if you think about your average day, it's basically a series of decisions that you have to make from the moment you get up until the moment you go to sleep. And that can really be where most of the overwhelm stems from. And so if you're doing things like having too much clutter around where that makes decisions even more difficult, or you don't really have clarity of what it is that you're actually trying to accomplish that day, right? So all these things kind of come together. And so it may seem like separate things, like, oh, my shop's a little bit cluttered and therefore I've got a little decision fatigue. But you're probably also a little bit cluttered on what you want to accomplish, what you're doing this for, all those kinds of important things. And they all kind of tie together, right? I found that people that really are unsure about what they're trying to accomplish also tend to be the ones that have clutter, even if it's not the type of person that they are. I know when I'm a little off my reason, not tied into it, I definitely more easily allow things to kind of get to a point where it becomes unmanageable or like, oh my gosh, now I'm overwhelmed, right? Because honestly, when you talk about like what Chandler was talking about earlier or Barb was talking about, where you have that as part of the process, we should want to keep it clean out of just wanting to be inspired, as opposed to it always being, I'm just going to let it go until I'm desperate to change my environment, right? And, I'm not speaking at anybody particularly here, so don't think that I'm talking to you, Becky. But it's adding that process. So that's really cool that you brought that up about decision fatigue. Okay, so now can we talk about creativity? Okay. It's like trying to find the glasses on top of your head. Frustrating. Absolutely. Yeah. Doug says, I'm inventorying all my blanks and putting them in bins. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep. Awesome. That's what I have too.
Good job. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to start with the creativity and let you guys run with it here a little bit. Creativity is a process that is inherently messy. In fact, it has to be, right? We have to try new things. We have to kind of get outside of the box, right? And therefore, if your space is also cluttered, messy, and again, that could be up here, that could be physically, that could be your digital space, et cetera, creativity goes, oh, well, there's not any room to make more of a mess. There's already a mess here. So I'll wait until you're done, right? That's your creativity talking in the background. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it's spot on. I mean, when you're in a chaotic environment and you don't feel like you have the space to allow yourself to play, if you will, you feel stuck again, and therefore it just stops you in that motion of building and growing.
Yeah.
And I think it goes hand in hand with focus and the stress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all linked together. So the creativity is not going to flow when it's being stopped by the reduced focus and the increased anxiety and that kind of stuff. So just get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that we need to cover here? I've got one last tip after we get done with some of these things that it can do for us. I've got one last tip for folks if you are at that point where you need to kind of get things cleaned up. So
I would say go for it.
okay.
Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure that we covered everything there. Okay, here it is. And some of you guys are going to go, I don't know if I can do this, but you can, right? So I think Becky was such a great example for us. And so let's first give Becky a round of applause for being willing to put herself out there, post those pictures. So here's the tip. Post the picture. Go into our group, right? It's a judgment-free zone. It's people that are like-minded, that we just want to support each other and lift each other up. Yes, we're going to hold each other accountable where it makes sense, but we're there to support each other, right? So it's a very safe space. Go in there, post a picture of the space, and then make a commitment to yourself. I will have this organized by whenever, right? And as I said, post it, make sure you post that in the comments there or on the post. But this is a commitment to you. It's not necessarily a commitment to us. Now, we are going to encourage you, ask you how it's going, keep you on track, right? But the more that we put stuff out there, the more, not only does that help us be accountable, but now we're more supported too, right? And so some of you guys, right, maybe you're a solopreneur and you're kind of doing this on your own and you're going, okay, it's my room and I know I need to do it, but I just can't bring myself to do it. You got to ask, right? You have to take the action. You have to get the thing started.
Yep.
Like Becky and Kylene and I can't do your push-ups for you, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sure, we could maybe come to your space and clean it for you. I charge a certain amount of money, right? We can make that happen, but no, I joke. But the reality is, you will get support by just being willing to put yourself out there a little bit. So that would be my challenge to anybody that's really kind of maybe struggling with it a little bit. Take a picture of something that you want to improve upon, and go from there. So
Yeah. And then, can I add one more thing?
Yes, please.
To get yourself in that headspace to go and start this, or to have the confidence to share the picture, whatever it might be, I would encourage you to come back to some self-care. Do something to get you in a more positive headspace, whether that's coming back to gratitude, bringing more positive vibration and emotions to you. Do some yoga, meditate, go for a walk, change environments, maybe just go outside for a little bit. Just get yourself in that right headspace before you go into this. It might be a little bit easier to attack it.
Yep. Or get yourself a pom-pom and just,
Yeah. Walgreens.
Yeah, Walgreens. I love it. All right. Yep. And woohoo, Becky. So good job. And
Yes.
All right. Anything else that we missed there, Becky?
I don't think so. Please post your pictures. I don't want to be the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but it's come. I don't want to say misery loves company, because we're not going to stay there. We got to the clean space, and that's really where we want to stay and get everybody moving in the right direction. So,
yeah. But if you don't have the after picture yet, that's fine. But yeah, like Becky said, the goal is to get to that after picture. So we want you guys to share that too. And again, we got to understand that we're all there, right? Even though I'm a neat freak, I get there. So I don't know if I've got anything to take a picture of right now. Kylene, we could have done a before picture of the closet,
Yeah.
but we missed that opportunity. So we'll take a look at some other spaces here that we need to work on.
We have a few more closets.
I was going to say our storage room that's right back here probably needs that kind of. So we'll do that soon. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, close us up here, Kylene.
All right. Well, awesome conversation. Again, thank you, Becky, for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. It really is inspiring. So yes, thank you. Pom pom for you. And it's always awesome to connect with other entrepreneurs, to share or when you guys share your insights with us, we grow together and we thrive together. So thank you all for being here. Remember, we don't have to do this alone. We're here to lift each other up. So again, join us over at the Facebook group, osg.ling/group. Share your key takeaways, share your before picture, and then your time frame, and we'll support each other and we'll get through that. And then share this with anyone else that you think might benefit from the conversation.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, my reminder for everybody is just to, the secret, so to speak, right? The secret sauce here is taking that consistent action. I love that time blocking idea that you threw out there, Becky, where it's just and then talking about what Barb shared and what Chandler shared. Have that ritual routine. Okay, close my day. Let's get things a little tidied up. Put the scissors back where they go, that kind of thing, right? So take that consistent action, make it productive action, and it becomes productive when you're doing it daily. And, that could be like Kylene was just talking about, some self-care, taking care of your mindset, making sure that you are reconnected to your reason, setting those clear goals. Why are we doing this each and every day? And then just embracing the focus and taking those small steps together. Again, keep that conversation rolling over in the group. I'm not sure if I'm stealing this from you, Becky, but I will also remind you guys, participate in that gratitude challenge. It's a day of celebrating Becky here, being vulnerable and starting that challenge. So we appreciate you very much, Becky.
I guess I started it off right saying it was all about me today.
There you go.
No. So, and last but not least, we definitely don't want to forget about the power of community. We're all in it together, and we love having you guys share your experiences. We love learning from each other, and we can all rise higher together. The rising tide lifts all boats. So please don't hesitate to engage. If anybody has questions or anything, we'd love to hear from you. If you're scared of Aaron, like last week, contact Kylene or I, and we'd be happy to talk with you about anything, including the Fun Live coming up. We're excited about that. We still think Aaron's a little crazy for that, but it'll be good. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. So maybe I just too much energy. I don't know what it is. I'll try to.
And I don't have it in front of me. I don't have a topic, Aaron, for next week, so I don't know I can't speak on that at the moment. But
yeah, well, we're going to all be in Las Vegas.
Oh yes, that's right.
And so we're going to
have a topic in front of me.
Coming up faster than we thought, right? So it won't be a traditional show like this, and so you guys are just going to have to kind of keep your eyes peeled because we can't do the StreamYard kind of setup like this from the show floor. The internet's not good enough to do it there, but we will probably do like get the selfie stick and hold the the three of us will get together. It might just be a quick, hey, what have you seen so far on the show floor? Just kind of catch up, and so a little impromptu Rising Tide talks next week. So
yep.
But then we will be back after that, and we've speaking of that though, real quick, if I could just ask folks, what do you guys want to talk about? Right. We could put some, thoughts in I don't know. We could put a poll in there, but we'd love for you guys to just, jump in the group and say, hey, how about this for a Rising Tide topic? Reach out to Becky, Kylene, or myself and let us know. Put it in the comments in here. What are some topics that you guys would like to discuss? That's what I'm loving about Rising Tide Talks here. I mean, as we thought about it, right? We got stuff from Barb, we got stuff from Chandler, we got stuff from both Beckys. I mean, Doug, everybody that's engaged in part of the conversation. This is a conversation together. So we'd love to know what you guys would like to talk about. All right. Yep. So Chandler says, Becky, you're going to be here for Fun Live. That's the plan. That's the plan. All right. Dealing with difficult customers.
Ooh,
all right.
That's a good one.
Hopefully she's not talking about me. I just popped in today just to say hi. I wasn't trying to be difficult. I'm just kidding, Chandler. Totally kidding, by the way, everybody. All right. So thank you guys. Appreciate you tuning in and looking forward to oh, what did Doug say? Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure out that later. But sorry, I got off track. What was I saying?
You're closing us up. Yeah.
Oh. All right. One of you guys, Becky, close us up, please. I took over too much.
Well, we're so thankful for you guys to be here. We love having all of you guys engage in the conversation that we have, and we hope that you have a fantastic week. And I am excited to see everybody at Printing United next week. It's the first time for me, so it's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
Yes. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.